Today, we would like to walk you through a new type of use case for geosocial data. Typically, we've provided you with tactics to apply geosocial to site selection and leasing decisions for the retail real estate industry. However, geosocial data has applications in a wide variety of industries. Today, we're going to walk you through a couple of them in the marketing and strategy decisioning space. Subway is a geosocial data user through our partnership with SiteZeus. They have found that this data can lend itself to optimized business hour strategies that maximize revenues. In the Chicago market, one rep commented, "The late night leisure segment prompted us to think about adjusting store hours. Some stores have seen over 10% sales increases since changing store hours." So, how can other big brands like Subway use geosocial data to uncover unique behavioral findings about their consumers? Here, we show a Subway in the Lincoln Park neighborhood of Chicago. It has normal business hours, open most nights until 10 or 11 p.m. At first glance, this wouldn't be cause for further consideration. However, when we take a look at geosocial data, our opinion on the store hours changes slightly. When we pull up the late night leisure segment on this map, you can see that the areas around this store score extremely highly for late night behavior. 98th percentile, 90th percentile, 99th, and 96th, respectively. So seeing these scores, all in the 90s, some of them in the very high 90s, indicates to us that late night leisure behavior is very prominent in this area of Lincoln Park. You might be wondering, what is late night leisure exactly? Well, let's take a quick look. Here are some example topics that the late night leisure category uses to create the segment. This segment is focused on late night activities such as sporting events in the evenings, game nights, dates, bars, and going out, to name a few. We also see that this segment has a tendency to be found most commonly late at night and early in the morning. And additionally, what we see is that this particular segment has a relationship with chain restaurants and fast food restaurants, like Subway. Knowing all of the details that we do about the store hours and the behaviors that we see most commonly in this area, we can conclude that this Subway might benefit from adjusting store hours as well. We've seen some really positive revenue results from other Subways making their stores 24 hours. And given those revenue results seen in this market previously, we know there's a lot of financial upside to making that sort of operational adjustment. We would recommend that Subway consider taking a look at this particular store and considering making it a 24-hour Subway. So how else can we use geosocial to impact marketing strategy? Using the same logic that we did previously, here is another Subway store in the Chicago DMA. It's located at 2008 North Halsted Street in Chicago, Illinois. We took a quick look at this Subway store's reviews on Google, and what we found is that it's pretty well liked. People seem to comment on the staff and the friendly, cheery atmosphere, and you can see a couple of examples of those reviews here. Now, going back to our map, let's take a look at this Subway store with some geosocial data layered onto it. Looking at this Subway store with the LGBTQ data layered on top of it, we can see that this site is surrounded by block groups that have a very high score for LGBTQ activities. We have data in the 99th percentile, 99th, 99th, 98th, and 93rd. It's actually fairly common that we see LGBTQ behavior perform strongly in urban areas, so this isn't terribly surprising. But in this area around the Subway store, it's very, very densely populated. Now, if I'm Subway and I combine all of the information that I now know about how people feel about my store, as well as the attitudes and interests in the area around my store, I can use this information to better inform the way that I communicate with my customers. We've found that our staff in this store are very well liked, they're friendly, they seem to be open people, and we've seen that the LGBTQ behavior is generally quite prevalent in this area. I would consider making the atmosphere even more open and accepting by updating things like store messaging and marketing materials, and even thinking about creating gender-neutral bathrooms. This would help our store be more open and accepting of the community's attitudes and interests that we've uncovered using geosocial behavior. As you can see, geosocial data applications span well beyond retail real estate decision-making. We took 2 geosocial segments and observed ways of optimizing consumer experiences that align best with the nearby community. Ultimately, both of these decisions impact the bottom line. 1, you end up with happy customers who feel well heard, and 2, you increase revenues in each of your stores, simply by making operational changes that are based on the people who are in and around your store area. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you found this useful. We're more than happy to brainstorm with you on other types of use cases and ways to use geosocial data, both for real estate and site selection, but also marketing and strategy decisions like we've covered here today.